Handsome Ngubelanga's father was a long-distance truck driver, and he was left to take care of his brother and sister. Seeing his dad struggle, Handsome wanted to ease his father's burden. He went door to door dropping off CVs, until one day he came across the world's greatest opportunity. He worked hard and followed the system. He set goals and had a big dream. And just 23 months after starting, promoted himself to owner. Handsome has bought his dad a car and paid for his sister's graduation expenses. If he can, so can you.
All right! Okay, guys, I'm going to teach you something very quickly, okay? So when I say guys, you say yes. Guys! Hey, guys! How you guys feeling? Yeah, man. So I'm very honored to stand in front of you guys today and share my story and some of the lessons and wins that I've encountered on my journey to ownership, right? So growing up, I've always wanted to be somebody because I grew up around people who had it all. The families around us always had businesses and the people always were just well off, and things weren't really that good in my side of the family. Now in 2002, my mother decided to leave, and me and my dad and my 4 siblings were left behind. Now at the age of 9, I had to learn how to cook because my dad couldn't be around driving trucks. Things went south from there because what happened was my dad couldn't pay the household bills and take care of 4 kids, even though he had a second job. And eventually, the water and lights got cut, and we had to get water from our neighbors through a hose pipe. Now, from grade 6 to 11, we were living in the darkness, starting by candlelight. And my confidence and my self-esteem as a kid got shot a lot because I couldn't relate to my friends in school when they were talking about what happened in Generations last night, and I didn't know what was going on with movies and all that. So I started to withdraw from people. I didn't want to go out, and I became very antisocial. The world wasn't really a nice place for me. So in 2010, I matriculated and went out to college. Started doing my studies, and I ended up going to do some training in a local municipality. And what they did was they told me there might be a permanent position waiting for me at the end of the training. So I dropped out of college because this seemed like the best opportunity for me to be able to relieve the burden on my dad. So at the end of training, there was no job for me. All of a sudden, I was left out in the cold. So I was forced to come back to Durban, and I had to find a job. Because I was always desperate, and I wanted to, I didn't want to be an added burden to my dad all the time. So I got a job at a local supermarket where I was earning 70 rands a day. Now, they stapled the money together to make sure that you didn't get an extra 20 rands on the side somewhere, So after 2 weeks of sweat and exhaustion, I decided, no, this is not for me. I quit and tried to look for something else. That's when I answered an advert from The Unlimited in the newspaper, and my journey at The Unlimited began. So I joined the business with a lot of enthusiasm. I said, you know what, I'm going to get promoted in 6 months to ownership. And, the dialer had other plans for me, right? So in the beginning, I struggled to close a lot because I lacked the confidence. And I plugged into my upline, and I was introduced to something called personal development. Started learning how to close effectively, which was something I didn't know of. And I started getting consistent on the dialer. And then I promoted myself to trainer after 7 weeks. Then 5 weeks thereafter, I promoted myself to team leader, and I qualified for my first future owners meeting. So you could say I was on track for my 6 months goal. So building a crew in the beginning wasn't really that hard. It was smooth sailing. And then all of a sudden, in 1 week, I lost 3 people because I didn't invest time in building solid working relationships with them, and I couldn't hold them accountable to the standards. So they ended up leaving. I was negged out, first time losing people, and started blaming people. My success rate took a dive. I stopped dropping pieces, and I was below the line. So I ended up going on retrain, back to trainer. And that December, I didn't make any money. So in 2017, we started the new year in a new location, and for me, it was a fresh start, I reconnected with my dream at a heart level, and my upline actually saw a big change in my attitude, and we started building again. So I got myself back to team leader again, and with the learnings that I got at the FOM 2017, I qualified for the rally as AO. Now, as an assistant owner, I thought I'd arrived. I started treating people like they were ATMs. I was the boss now, And I got blinded by production so much that I was oblivious to people's dreams. I had a high-performing team, but at the end of the day, they ended up leaving because they felt pressured and they were underappreciated. So this was a huge reality check for me because I had to go back to the drawing board and really obsess about goal setting and planning. So I found that I needed to learn my people's dreams and the reason why they were in the business, because that was the way I was going to be able to motivate them the right way. So I got promoted to ownership in February 2018. Yeah, so much for 6 months, right? And that is when I saw the biggest shift in my life. Now let me tell you what this business has done for me. In December 2017, I bought my dad a second-hand GWM Bucky. I helped to pay for my sister's graduation preparations, and I also pay for the water and lights at home now. Right? So I also started renovating the house at home. I'm calling it Project Facelift. Just last month, I paid 8,000 rands just fixing the roof on its own. And I'm also gearing up to buy my own set of wheels in the next 2 weeks when I get my license. Right? So I want to leave you guys with this. You need to connect with your people at a heart level by building their dreams, because when they joined the business, they didn't know you. So they're not here to serve you. Right? It's not a race to ownership. It's a journey. What that means is if you miss your goal, it's not a red card and you're out of the World Cup. Right? You can still carry on. Dreams delayed are not dreams denied. It just means that you just had to learn 1 or 2 more lessons so that you were strong enough to be able to handle the challenges at the next level. I want to leave you guys with a quote here in this trainer's manual. It says, setting goals and doing everything in your power to achieve them is exactly how you unlock your dreams. You guys have been great. See you at the Rally 2018.